Hey everybody, this is Royal with Paternity University. I'm here with Serge out in Baltimore. This is the Student Success Series Part 4. I'm going to interview Serge about how he started his paternity testing company and kind of the road that he's been on and the successes that he's had and the lessons he's learned too so far. So, Serge, man, how you doing?
Hey man, I'm doing great today. It's a little snow today, but yeah, I'm doing great.
Man, it snowed out here in El Paso yesterday. Mind you, I'm in El Paso, Texas, which is on the border of the United States and Mexico, and it snowed.
I had no idea it snowed down there.
Yeah,
Zero idea.
it does, but it was just weird. It was like flurries and it stuck to the ground, but it snowed and then it melted, and later on the day it was 60 degrees. It's weird.
That's
Really
crazy.
weird. Yeah, really weird stuff. But so Serge, man, I mean, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. You know, where you're from, what you do, all that good stuff.
Yeah, man. So currently, like a little bit outside of Baltimore in Columbia, but mostly I work remotely right now. I work in tech sales for a tech company. I build websites on the side, a little bit of everything for real. But man, I'm excited that I got started a paternity business because I got calls coming in now, a couple clients under my belt. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So what got you interested in the paternity testing business?
This is gonna be funny. My brother actually sent me over it was an interview with you on a military podcast, I
Oh,
believe.
military cash flow. Yeah, shout out to
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
shout out to Dan.
So I watched that and I was like, bro, we gotta do this. We gotta do that. Did some research, found out about the area I'm gonna be going into, and
Yeah.
I was like, yo, there's no competition here. So let's do this so I can get this up and running and get some calls coming. Because I've done it for other businesses. Why not this one? So
Mm.
my brother got your course and like me and him partnered together and yeah.
Dope. So like as you bought the course, right? You bought the
Mhm.
course. As you went to the course, how was that? Like, how was the information presented? I mean, was it easy to understand, or was it like
Yeah.
convoluted and difficult? Or
Man, I'm gonna be real with you. Like the course is very easy to go through. Like you break it down step by step. And I like the biggest thing is like you just tell people like, take action, like just do one thing today to move yourself forward. Because I bought a lot of courses in the past and you can kind of get like stuck. They're not really showing you what to do. They'll tell you like, oh, you can do this, but you're not really gonna be able to do that because they're like light years ahead of you. But like you just like take it from, hey, get your Google set up, reach out to different partnering companies, and then go from there. And that's just follow along. That's it. Just following what you did got me to where I'm at. So
yeah. Okay. So what? How did you go about actually starting your paternity testing business? Like, what were you? I mean, I know you follow my blueprint, but I'd like you to
yeah.
explain what the
Mhm.
steps you took to actually start your business and get your
One
first
of
customer.
Yeah, so one of the first thing is just researching your competition, researching your area, see who's already out there, and then just calling them around, just seeing what everything is like. Next part is just getting your business set up. So obviously filing for the LLC, um, getting all that in order, and then that takes a little bit, especially here in Maryland.
Mhm.
That took probably like a month.
Okay.
Then the next longest part was waiting for the Google postcard to come in. So I went ahead and got a co-working space and did some research on that. Found a good one, super cheap, paid for it. Got my Google postcard sent out over there, and then I got set up on Google. Got my website built out.
Question though, why is it so important to get set up on Google?
Man, I think what everyone's on their phone and everyone uses Google. All of us are on there 24/7. I'm sure right now, like if someone wanted to like look up, hey, what's the best restaurant to eat at right now? You're gonna Google it first. And
Mm-hmm.
then you might go to Yelp or you might go to Uber Eats, depending on the situation. But most people, for any type of service or anything like that, are gonna go right to Google. So customers are gonna be there too. So
So
yeah.
you setting up on Google means that when somebody searches paternity testing in Baltimore or in
Mhm.
Maryland or something like that, your business pops up and your phone number pops up and your
Yeah,
reviews pop up and they call you or something like that. That's what that means,
exactly.
right? Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
exactly.
Okay.
100%. So
Okay,
yeah.
dope. So past all the steps,
Mhm.
what is the value of the Slack channel that's
And just
in the course?
going into seeing other people's questions, just if you have a question, post in there. We're all like, everyone's gonna jump in and like chime in and let you know what's up. Any question you have, for real, everyone's gone through the same process. So like any question you might have, someone's already dealt with it. Or if you're thinking about something new, you just share with the group. Everyone feeds off each other inside the Slack group, which is great. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So tell me about your first call that you got. Your first ever call.
All right,
How did that go?
my first ever call wasn't a sale. So I'm gonna put that out there.
Yeah.
First ever call was someone reaching out like, hey, I got a paternity test a long time ago from you guys. I'm like, okay. She's telling me her story, like, hey, I got a paternity test. Do you guys have like, do you have record of it on file? I'm like, man, I don't have that on file, but you know, I did a long time ago. Do you guys have it? I'm like, I had to explain to her, no, I'm not. I think she
Child
was trying
support
to figure out
services or whatever.
child
Yeah.
support services and stuff. And I
Yeah.
was telling her like, yeah, I'm not that. I just, you know, we're a business here. I told her, I just had to let her know like, hey, check with them, and then if they don't have it on file, just come back and we'll get you taken care of. But she never called me back, and I didn't follow up either. So
no, but that's the dope thing is that you still offered that to her. Like you gave her the answer, like I'm not child support services. But you said, hey, if you can't find the answer, feel free to call me back and we can that's customer service 101. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Helping to try to find an answer to a problem that they're having. You know what I mean? You know, she never called back. That's fine. But you still set that precedence to do that. So that's really dope, man. That's really dope.
One of the biggest things I like to tell everyone too, like in the group, is like, yo, just make sure you're picking up your phone calls and being, you know, giving people great great customer service. Because I called around a lot of businesses. First of all, no one picked up, and then secondly, the people that did pick up, it wasn't a pleasant conversation. So just got to differentiate yourself that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I say that, I tweet that all the time. I say that all the time. I think I say that in the course too. Like, pick up the phone. And if you can't pick up the phone, set aside a budget to pay a virtual assistant to pick up the phone and train them, you know, on, and I provide a script in the course too on how to answer. And you can tailor the script to your demographic or whatever, but pick up the phone, sound, thank you for calling Assurance DNA. This is Royal speaking. How may I help you? That sets you apart from so many people. My gosh.
One of the recent calls I got, it was like earlier in the day. So when I answered, she was like, is this the penitentiary? I was like, no, this is not a jail.
Look, man, like I say this in the chat, and I've said this to you like on our separate calls and stuff like that. But when I first started Assurance DNA, I started it near Fort Meade, which is in Columbia. Like it's in near Baltimore. So I get it, man. I 100% get it, because a lot of the calls I got, like half of them, like, this child support services. I'm like, no, this is a private DNA. But they, I think it's certain keywords that you put in your website or on Google. People just call, they think paternity testing is child support services because, I don't know. It's just a different demographic, a different understanding. What they think you're gonna get those calls. It just is what it is. But like you said, you can always parlay it, and as long as you help them solve their problem. So tell me about your first ever sale. How was that?
First ever sale, that was like my second call. And it was just a young lady just reached out to me. She wanted a paternity test. She wasn't really sure. She'd never done it before. So we kind of walked her through like the two different types of paternity tests, the legal and then the at-home kit. And she was like, I just need something for my peace of mind. Great. So, I just got done setting up my Square and stuff. And I was like, how am I going to take payment like right now? Because I wasn't sure. So I was like scrambling, grabbing my phone, like, I got to look at Square. Like, how do I charge this person? How do I get this over to her?
Yeah.
So I sent it over to her. I'm not regretting, but I didn't charge like a shipping fee. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna bring it to you. So like ended up like leaving work a little bit early, driving the test to her. She was very happy. Again, when I got to her, let her know who I am, asked for the review, and then also like just educated her too, because when I talked to her, she told me it's the first time she's taking a test. So I was like, hey, do you know how this is gonna work? There's instructions in here, but I'll walk you through the instructions while we're in front of each other. So just letting her know that. So she's really happy. So she sent in her test like immediately. So I got an email from the lab, and they were just letting me know, hey, this person sent in the test. They're gonna charge you and they charged my card, and yeah, it went smoothly.
It went smoothly. So you did, above and beyond customer service. Like you hand
Yeah.
delivered it
Mhm.
to her and met her. I mean, that's dope. I did that once. I did that. That was actually like the first ever. Yeah, we're on the same page, man. Like when I first got to El Paso, the first
Yeah.
ever like home kit, I actually hand delivered it because they didn't want it mailed to them. They were like, we want it
Mhm.
like pretty much immediately, and I had to drive to like a whole other part of town and hand deliver it. And it was
Mhm.
great. I don't mean to take away, from
No.
your conversation, but I'm now the memories are starting to come back, like core memories. But it's funny is because I think the mom was the one who ordered the paternity test and was like,
Mhm.
and I had to translate because they only spoke Spanish, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna drop it off. I'm gonna give it, I'm gonna give it to you.
Mhm.
And the mom was like, okay, I'll be there. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I knock on the door, and then the son comes out, and he's like mid-20s. So it's not
Yeah.
like he's a little kid. He was like,
Yeah.
what is this? And my stupid self at the time, I was wearing my Assurance DNA polo. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So
Yeah.
like, I'm like, it's a package and it's for your mother. And he's like, why didn't it just come in the mail? Like, why are you hand delivering? He's like, what is this? Assurance DNA? Like, what's going on? I'm just like, just give that to your, just, I'm going to go now. It was, oh, it was so awkward. So that's why like I'm just adamant now about I
Yeah.
charge that shipping fee, and I'm like, sir or ma'am, I will
Mhm.
mail this to the address that I would not come to your house and give it to you. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like,
Yeah.
but for the first time, doing that, you
Mhm.
wanted to provide that above and beyond customer service, and that
Yeah.
is amazing, man. That is seriously amazing. How did it make you feel
Appreciate it.
getting that first
Uh,
sale?
I was just like, I was kind of shocked. I was like, oh, I already got calls, and I'm like, oh, someone actually paid for this. Like, she literally, I sent her the link. 2 minutes later, I had just paid, and then like I'm like scrambling, like now what do I do? Like I'm trying to figure out, okay, just remember what Royal told me to do in the course, just like get the test and then have everything put together.
Yeah.
And um that I think I reached out to you like, yo, how am I gonna get this to her? And I think I was thinking like I forgot to charge her a shipping charge, but it was all good.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a long drive or anything like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, 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 yeah. I
yeah.
like that, man. I like it. I think I remember you texting me and you was like, did I just make $100? I'm like, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Like, and it only took me literally the phone conversation is probably like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then
The
to
thing that
drive it
took you the
to,
longest was probably driving over there,
yeah,
right?
driving to her, and that's it,
That's it.
So
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Look at that. So your second cell that you got, because that
Mhm.
was your second cell was the very next call, wasn't it?
Yeah, actually it was the next day, which was
Okay.
like my next call. Like I picked up my girlfriend from work. We went out to go eat. Literally, it's gonna be funny when I say this, but we went out to a breakfast eatery, and then as we're getting ready to leave, uh, my phone starts ringing. I'm like, "Hey, babe, my trap phone booming."
Yeah. Yeah, facts.
And then
You
I
got
gotta
a
pick this.
you have a separate phone? Do you have an actual separate phone?
Um,
Or do you have like an app on
actually,
your
I have an app on my phone, and I have a
yeah.
business line. So the business
Okay.
line was ringing. I know, and it tells me. So
Okay. 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 Got it.
any numbers that I see, I'm like, okay, 443. Yeah, that's definitely Baltimore. So let me
Okay.
call.
Got it.
Let me pick
Got it.
this
Got
up.
it. Got it. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I run outside. I'm on the call. Then he's talking to me. Um, he's letting me know his situation. He just needs an at-home kit. He just wants to know, like, hey, is his child his? And I'm like just walking him through the process again. And then I send him the link. He pays for it. And then I'm just like, okay, I like immediately drop my girlfriend off at home, and then I run to like the post office to get it shipped over to him.
Yeah.
That's where I also set up like I guess a business account for shipping.
Yeah.
I think me and you talked afterwards. It wasn't necessary, but I just thought like, say, if I'm going to be sending out a lot of tests, why not
Yeah.
just take advantage of some of the different shippings that they offer? So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
And always, I think I said this too, always keep some kits in your car.
Mhm.
Just in case you're out and about and somebody's like, I want to test, and
Mhm.
providing that excellent service is getting it mailed out as soon as possible. That's part
Yeah.
of that good
Mhm.
service. That's cool, man. So you've gotten more calls since then. and you've basically been sharpening your sword, right? By just
Yeah.
answering these calls and figuring
Mhm.
out what's going on. So what about we did some sales training a couple of weeks ago
Mhm.
on a Friday. Was that beneficial to you?
Oh man, that definitely 100%, because you know, having, like, obviously you're gonna set this up, and then like you're gonna get calls, but then like you've never gotten that call before. Like I work
Yeah.
in sales, like the first couple, like, calls that you make are going to be rusty, so you don't want to be rusty those first couple calls. You want to kind of make it seem natural, make it seem smooth. So like just going on there, role playing with you definitely helped boost confidence, and then just help me like, I remember taking notes on, like, all right, so if they talk about this is where I want to go. Like for non-legal, like you want to ship it out to them, and like, some of the stuff went out the window once you get the call and it's live.
Yeah.
But a lot of it sticks, like just answering, just letting them know, like, hey, this is the company you're calling with. No, everything we did in the sales call was great, man.
I love it. Yeah, that's the purpose of the community that I created is to truly, help people
Mhm.
build and scale their businesses. And I'm looking forward to when you get your first prenatal, because
Yeah.
those are the big fish that you catch right there, man. Those are the big, you're gonna get it. I
Yeah.
predict that you're gonna get your first one within the next 30 days.
That's what I'm thinking too. I've been getting a lot of calls from them. I think like probably 5 or 6 in the last week. Probably
Yeah.
one of the best calls I've gotten so far. The lady called and she's like, "Hey, I'm like 39 weeks pregnant. I want to get prenatal paternity test." I'm like, "When do you do?" Like,
Yeah. Like, man, you might
on
as
the
well
15th. I was like, "Oh, all right. Well,
just
yeah.
wait.
Let's not. We're gonna hold off on this. Wait till you have your child and come back to me. We'll
Yeah,
get this
yeah,
taken care of."
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So by the way, explain it to the
Mhm.
people watching. What is a prenatal? What is that?
Okay, so prenatal paternity test is when a woman is pregnant and she wants to get a DNA test to verify who the father, to find out who the alleged father is.
Yeah.
And with that, there's two different types of prenatal tests. There's invasive, and then there's non-invasive. We use more the safer method, which is non-invasive. So basically, it's just a blood draw on the mother, and then a swab on the father, and it gets sent to the lab, and they get the results that way. The non-invasive way, I'm gonna let you explain that one, because
Yeah, the invasive way. You know what? You just, if I were calling in, you would have just sold me on getting a non-invasive test right there. That's an awesome explanation. That's why I just did that too, by the way.
yeah, appreciate
Gotta get you on the spot, man. You know what I'm saying? So an invasive test is that's the word. So there's two different types of invasive tests that usually an OBGYN administers, and it's the amniocentesis or the chorionic villus sampling. So amniocentesis is where they insert a needle into the mom's belly button to collect that amniotic fluid, and then they swab the father. And chorionic villus sampling is when they stick a catheter into the woman's cervix to collect placental samples. Both are pretty uncomfortable for the woman. I've spoken to a couple of women who actually got those done. They're usually also not done for paternity tests. They're usually done to test if the child has any possible Down syndrome or any other types of defects.
Okay.
It can be done for paternity testing, but usually it's for something else. But it's pretty uncomfortable. I've spoke to a couple of women who said, "Yeah, I've had the amniocentesis, and they stick a thick needle into your belly button, and it hurts. It feels really weird, and then it can also possibly cause either birth defects for the child if it's done wrong, or possible small chance of miscarriage." So when people call in and they say, I want a prenatal paternity test, well, we say we offer the non-invasive, which is, like you said, a simple blood draw from your arm and a mouth swab from the father, and it's non-invasive. It's just that's all it is. And they're like, "Oh wow, oh, that's what you offer." And you go from there. You offer, and usually only a few. I mean, the lab that we use is the only one that offers American Association of Blood Banks accredited non-invasive prenatal paternity. They're the only one in America, and usually the distributors or the resellers of that test are the only ones that offer it. And you probably are the only one in Baltimore that offers that.
Yeah,
Probably.
With the lab being closed in Baltimore, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I am the only company to actually advertise it, and I'm pretty much the only one in a 600-mile radius from where I'm at to offer that. Like into New Mexico and into like past Dallas or up to Dallas, I'm the only one that offers that. So it's something that is necessary. And a lot of people want that test to determine who the father is before the baby's born. So yeah. What do you see, man, in the future for your business? I mean, is this something you want to stick to? Is this something that's fly by night and you want to quit in 2 weeks because you ain't getting no sales?
I'm sticking with it. I'm actually collaborating with I reached out to a lot of like other like mobile collectors, mobile phlebotomist. Actually, my phlebotomist, she put me on with a 3D ultrasound, tech, who has her own company. So I'm going to be doing like some of the gender reveal DNA testing for them, because for the 3D ultrasound, I see that they offer it, but they do it at like, again, 22 weeks.
22 weeks. Yep.
I can do the gender reveal starting at, around week 7 to 9. So I'm looking forward to that partnership. So I'm waiting for a phone call from them so we can get that set up.
Yeah, that's a great segue into my next question, and you kind of already answered it. So if you can't do the test, if you are either busy at work or it's a prenatal test, if you can't do it, how do you outsource those tests?
So that's a great one, because recently I got a call from a lady in Baltimore, and she's like, hey, the alleged father lives in Pennsylvania. I'm on the phone with her. I'm like, hey, what is the alleged father lived? Is he going to come down to Baltimore? Because she wanted to do a legal test. And I'm like, hey, that's the case. Myself, I always tell them either myself, someone on my team, or one of my partners are going to be able.
There you go. That's how you make your business sound legit and big. That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
And from there, I researched some labs around where he was at in Pennsylvania. So it would have been a 2-hour drive for her. I called the lab, like, hey, can you guys do a collection for me? They let me know, hey, we'll charge you, I think it was like $25 per person that they collect from. And they would do the test for me, send it out, and a client would pay me. They're just going to go there, get the appointment, and also have that all set up. But unfortunately, she couldn't get a hold of the alleged father. So, but I still have the connection with that lab. So if I know anyone in Pennsylvania or anybody who has to be in that area to get a test, at least I know I can reach out to that lab like, hey, it's Serge. I know we spoke last time. Just want to set up another collection. Can you do that for me?
Absolutely.
So,
set that relationship. So that's awesome, man, because that would be silly for you to drive all the way to Pennsylvania to swab somebody for 15 minutes and then drive back.
Exactly.
You have that net. How did you learn that about it? How did you learn how to
man, that was in your course. Just people get the course inside there. Everything you need for us in the course. Everything we talked about is in the course. So like that's it. Just follow along, and you're gonna get sales, and you're gonna get people calling you. Like, that's for sure. Like,
yeah, you are. I love it. Sure. I love it, because like I said, in your area specifically, it's on the way. I'm telling you, you're gonna get calls, and it's gonna be guys that got a kid in the Bahamas or somewhere or in Jamaica. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen.
Wait, what did you tell me to do for that? Because I'm still like, waiting for that call. So how do I handle that?
Yeah, so usually they want them for the home kit, the non-legal kit. So what you would do is you would say, okay, you just want to know if the kid in the Bahamas is your kid and you're in Baltimore, right? And they'll say, yeah. And you'll send them the kit, and you'll give them instructions on how to split the kit up. So they will then DHL or mail that other part of the kit where the mom or whoever is going to swab the kid in the Bahamas. Then the mom is going to send that part of the kit back to the dad, or she can send it directly to DDC if she wants to. And the dad will recollect that kit together, put it all together, and send it to DDC. That's how it's done. You know what I mean? Because you want to send it to him, and he would split up and do it from there. I don't really like to try to DHL stuff to the Bahamas, because that's not a cost that I want to incur.
Sure.
Put on somebody. So you're gonna get those calls. Trust me, I've had calls in the Baltimore area where, hey, my brother needs a paternity test, but he's in Ethiopia, and I'm like, what's the shipping cost on that? I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you want me to ship it, I'm gonna charge you $500, sir. So you
so with that, right? So if they're doing that way, like, if it's the mouse swab, how long is that active for? Like with the blood test, you want to send it
Okay.
as quickly as possible because you might have
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah, yeah,
redraw.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
is that the same thing for the swabs? You have to, is there like a redraw if you don't send it out in an amount of
No,
time?
it's swabs are fine.
Okay.
Swabs last up to about a year. The lab, you
Oh
contact the
wow.
lab that
Okay.
lasts for about the blood. Yes, you want to get it.
Okay.
You want to overnight that blood to the
Hmm.
lab. You don't want to sit on that.
Okay.
But yeah, if you send them the kit, the home
Hmm.
kit, and they send it to Ethiopia or the Bahamas or Guyana or whatever, and the
Hmm.
person swabs and puts it back in the envelope, puts it back in the envelope, by the way, not just swabs and
Okay.
leave them out in the open, then they get contaminated. They put it back in the envelope and they sit on it for a week and then they send it back. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good question. See,
Yeah.
Serge is look, y'all. Serge is a student. Serge has probably asked me the most questions out of any student, which is not a bad thing at all. I welcome that. I like that stuff. But that's why he's going to do extremely well in the next year or so. I think he's going to do you're going to do well. You're going to do
Yeah.
very well, man, especially out where you're at. You're going to crush
Exactly.
it. Seriously.
And then I think, I don't know if you're gonna bring it up, but I think one thing that I really like too is I don't have to pay for these kits. Like,
good reminder. So what does that mean? What does that mean not having to pay for the kids up front? What does that mean?
that makes my business basically, very low start. I think my biggest cost was paying for my LLC formation.
Yeah.
Now I have like my kit, I have one right here. I'm actually going through. I got like a box with the kit.
There you go. That's one. Yep. That's the non-legal. That's a home test kit.
So basically, the lab that we use, the AABB accredited one, send us the supplies we need in order to I guess distribute to clients. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not a cost I have to absorb and whatnot.
Yep.
So
they send it to you, and I joke, whenever we get our test in, I say, we got the bricks, man, the plug,
exactly. That's what I told my girl too.
Yeah,
I got the re-up.
Exactly. I got my box of kits right, behind me, and they send it to you for free. They charge you on the back end when you swab the client, you send it in, then they charge you on the back end. But yeah, you don't have to pay. Imagine if you would have had to pay. What's 100 and was it? I think they charge you all about 140 or so. I think for illegal, I think 140. They send you about 25. So imagine having to pay $3,500 up front to get your kits
inventory. Yeah,
for inventory. Yeah, that would knock a lot of people out. They send it to you for free up front, and they charge you on the back end for each one that you send in eventually.
Yeah, and the great thing too, like they not only just send you the the kit itself, but they send you like the FedEx box, send it back to them, shipping label with your company on there. Yeah, basically everything you need to do just to get sales and just keep it pushing. So,
and what's even doper, especially when you're coordinating and outsourcing some of the tests, is that when you get to a point where you're outsourcing them to another collection facility, usually those collection facilities actually have those DNA kits on hand already. So, at a certain point, you don't even, you're going to always want to have some kits on hand, you know what I'm saying? Just in case somebody wants to actually get a DNA test near you and wants to come to your office or whatever, have those on hand. Absolutely. I think I've done about maybe 16 tests this year so far, of which we've only had to use our own kits on 3.
Okay.
I've outsourced the rest. I've only seen 3 of my clients this year. I haven't seen the remainder of them. All of them are outsourced. I haven't used any of my own kits. Like I don't even, and they still pay me. Granted, it's more so for the prenatals, but they pay me $1,700 a pop for each test. You know what I mean? And I just outsource it. I don't even see them, but they love us because of the way that we communicate in that customer service, which you spoke about.
Exactly.
That you will do. Trust me, you're gonna get those. You're gonna get them. Just stay patient. Stay consistent. You will start getting those prenatals and those other tests, and you're gonna be like, what? Somebody just paid me $1,700 for it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It's gonna happen.
I'm glad I have, basically like you said in the course, get everything ready. So like having the mobile phlebotomist there, so that she can go to their house, she can go wherever they need to meet with them. So
have everything set in stone so that when that call comes, let me hang up and call you back.
No.
That's the mistakes I was making at first. I'm like, stand by. Now I'm like, now I have it to where I have the perfect setup now. I don't have to ask the facility I send them to what their hours or their availability, because they're always available to do a test Monday through Thursday, pretty much, or Friday. So I just say, yeah, we can send you here. We'll take your payment right now.
Yeah.
I used to have to be like, hold on, let me call you back. You hang up that phone, you lose that lead. You lose the lead when you hang up the phone, man.
Exactly.
You'll call them back and they're like, who is this?
Yep. I have them text me like, hey, text me your name, phone number, email, so that way I can coordinate the test for you. And yeah.
If you hang up cold with no information, that's it, man. You will call them back and they'll be like, I never called no DNA testing company, because probably by the time you call them back, they're probably next to the person that they're trying to do a DNA test on. They're like, what? Huh? Who?
Yeah. I learned the hard way with that, because my second person I sold the test to, like, I called him back. He's like, hey man, I'm at work. I'm like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
I was trying to get some confirmation on something, but yeah,
exactly. Trust me, I've done it, man. And you call them back and they're like, what are you talking about? I don't know no so. Damn, man, don't blow up the spot. You know what I mean? You just learn. But Serge, man, I mean, what advice do you have for people kind of on the fence with this business, man?
Just get started, and just do it. I would say do the research for your location, find out like what the paternity testing, and you'll be surprised to see, like, call around first. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, no one's gonna pick up the phone for you, and the people who are probably picking up the phone, they're not gonna be that pleasant the way you would be on the phone. And I would just say get started, just do it, jump in. It's a very, very niche market, so which is great. Everyone's always says the riches are in the niches, so that's what you got to do. Find niche businesses and join them and be successful that way.
Yeah,
put in work. Not just gonna be successful, but put in work for it. So
yeah, you got to put in the work, man. and the thing is this something that, speaking of putting in work, is this something that is make you sweaty and you're out in the sun working hard and all this other stuff, or is this simply just phone calls and marketing and coordination? What is this?
I mean, really the marketing, once you have it set up on Google, it's kind of done for you that way. So it's literally just picking up your phone when it rings. It's not hard labor. You're not outside or anything like that. It's not rocket science. You're not, making formulas or anything. All of that's taken care of for you. All you're doing is picking up the call, delivering excellent customer service to someone, selling them your service, and keep it moving from there. That's it.
Yeah, I'm closing out. Man, Serge, I really appreciate you, coming on for the Student Success Series, man. Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to say before we, kind of wrap up?
Man, just collaboration, biggest thing. I'm just going to tell people always, don't be afraid of collaborations. I know that's my biggest thing. Always try to collab, make your life easier, collaborate with people. Yep. That's it.
Facts. Serge, man, I appreciate it. Once again, man, everybody, like I said, Paternity University is the only course
the
only on the internet where you can learn how to do that. This information does not exist anywhere else. And if anybody even wants to try to copycat this thing, I offer the best information. All right. It's just
100%. 100%.
It's solely, I mean, like I said, I try not to toot my own horn. I had a lab, an actual lab, like an AABB accredited lab, reach out to me and said, we want to send your course to people who contact us to be distributors, because you apparently give out great information, and the people that you send us are all extremely professional. So if a lab is doing that, I mean, that's good stuff. So look,
absolutely.
Hey, Serge is doing it. We're going to follow up with Serge in about, I'm going to follow up in about maybe 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
See how things are going. I think you're going to be absolutely
crushing it. Yeah.
Crushing Baltimore, man. Crushing Baltimore. And as you decide to spread out even further than Baltimore, you decide to go down to DC or in the Virginia,
I got plans for that.
Delaware, whatever. You're gonna do very well, man. You're gonna do very well. So thanks, Serge. Y'all, this is the Student Success Series. I have the link to the course below, and you can also check out the other interviews where I've interviewed other students. And thank y'all for tuning in, man. And reach out to Serge. Where? Oh, by the way, where can people find you, Serge? If people want to reach out to you,
I guess you can find me on Twitter. That's the main spot, really. Twitter.
What's your Twitter handle?
I guess my Twitter handle, dang, I gotta look up.
I'll put it in the show
Crazy.
notes.
The Twitter hand. Oh my goodness.
I put you on the spot. I'll put it in
Yeah.
the, I know what it is. I'll put it in the
Yeah, Senji 90. So SENDJII 90.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Boom. Okay. Follow him there. Ask him all the questions. You know what I'm saying? He can give you the game. Okay. So thank y'all for tuning in. Until next time on the next Student Success Series, everybody, I appreciate it. And y'all have a great day. Thanks.